Maybe your feet are planted on the ground. And you can allow your eyes to close. And you'll feel that inhale come in through your nose as it fills up your belly and your ribs. And then finally allow it to fill your chest. And then exhale that air back out, pushing the air out of your chest, your ribs, and then your belly. Taking several more rounds of breath. Using this breath to keep yourself here in this moment, staying present in your body. This breath gives you guidance, it gives you something to focus on, to bring your attention to. And if at any point during the session today you start to feel your mind wandering, starting to think about your to-do list, just bring yourself, your attention back to your inhale and your exhale. Offering yourself this next hour for you, totally for you, for your body. Taking in what you need and leaving anything behind that you don't. Some days we need a little more movement. Other days we need a little more stillness. Allowing your body to guide you. Take just a few more breaths. You can start to allow your head to fall down to one shoulder. And then maybe going through center with your chin down to your chest, circling over to the other side. Taking a few rounds side to side. Finding the speed that your body wants to go as we warm up. Stopping anywhere that needs a little extra attention. And the next time your right ear is to your right shoulder, if you'd like, pause there. And then we're going to drop our chin down towards our armpit so that we're gazing down at our right pocket. Maybe the hands drop down to the sides of the chair for a little extra stretch. And then bringing the head up and over to the left side, left ear to left shoulder. And then bringing that chin in towards your armpit as you gaze down now at your left pocket. And then inhaling your head up, allowing some shoulder rolls, circling those arms back. Both together or one and the other, whichever feels better. And then we'll switch to forward. that movement, maybe all the way down to your fingertips, maybe all the way back into your shoulder blades, feeling everything moving. We'll take our right hand, and we'll find a spot somewhere on the chair, maybe next to you, or maybe this leg of the chair. Hold right on. We're gonna reach our left hand up, and then maybe over a little bit, using that chair to support you. And then take a few breaths as you feel that stretch through that left side body. The option here to kind of reach forward, bringing that left hand over, and find the other side of the chair as we bring the right arm up and over. I need my sign. Pulling here, pushing that right hip down into the chair as the right arm reaches up and over to feel that side body stretch. And then again, reaching that arm forward, feeling that through your back, through the side, through your shoulder as we reach back over. Finding this one more time on your right side. Stretching that left arm up and over. And then reaching that hand forward when you're ready. Feeling that through the spine as we plant that left arm and reach the right arm up and over. And then reaching that hand forward, reaching as far up as you can go. We're going to bring that right over to the back of the chair, going into a seated twist. So your right arm will grab the back of the chair, and then your front arm will come to the outside of your right leg, allowing for a twist through your spine. Your hands are there to help you and guide the twist, keeping this gentle. Maybe as we stay and we hold, you find a little deeper stretch with each exhale. And then we'll inhale to twist to the opposite side. Finding the back hand on the chair and the front right arm reaching on the outside of your left leg. Using those hands to give you a little bit of a twist through your spine. Nice and gentle, and as you breathe, feeling a little deeper stretch. And on your inhale, we'll come back to forward. We'll bring the hands up. And we'll tick-tock just a little side to side. Just feel some movement here. Feel the sides. If you'd like to hold and get a little deeper stretch, you can. Otherwise, just waking up all those muscles through our side body, through our stomachs. Next time you reach through center, point those fingers up towards the ceiling. Maybe allow your head to gaze back, feeling a little bit of arching through your spine, through your neck. Maybe tracing the fingers back a little bit towards the back of the ceiling to get a little deeper stretch. Being sure to breathe. Might be a little shorter. Inhale and an exhale. On your inhale, we'll trace our fingers right along the ceiling and along the front wall as we come down into a forward bend. Maybe your hands will reach for the ground. If they're not there yet, your elbows can come to your knees. And you can feel that stretching through your spine, allowing your head to hang heavy. On your next inhale, we'll slowly, one vertebrae at a time, feeling each section of your spine coming back up to straight. Allowing your head to hang heavy and have that be the last thing that returns to upright. We'll place our hands on our knees. We're going to take some seated cat-cows. So on your inhale, you'll bring your chest forward as you gaze up towards the ceiling, creating an arch in your lower back. And then on your exhale, pushing your belly back to the back of the chair as you round through your spine, tuck your chin down to your chest, feeling a rounding from the top of your head all the way down to your hips. The inhale, we'll gaze up, pull the chest forward, feeling the arch. And on the exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the chin. Taking a few more cat-cows at your pace. And when you finish that, you can come to a seated position at the chair. Plant your feet. Maybe bring your back a little bit away from the back of the chair. We're going to go into our breathing with our core engagement. So on your inhale, I want you to think about filling up your belly, filling up even into the back body, the ribs, filling as much as you can while keeping your pelvic floor and your belly relaxed. Then on the exhale, you'll lift that pelvic floor. You'll feel your hip bones kind of squeeze together underneath as you pull your belly button in and you engage through your stomach. On the inhale, we'll fill and release, allowing the muscles to relax. On the exhale, lift the pelvic floor, pull the belly button in, and the rib cage will come down and together. On your inhale, we'll fill. And on the exhale, tighten and lift. You can just a couple more breaths like that at your own pace. Inhale and relax. Exhale to contract. On your next exhale, when you're there, I'm going to have you hold that contraction. That pelvic floor will stay lifted and those core muscles will stay nice and tight. We're going to take a few marches with our legs. One, then the other, feeling that engagement, feeling the tightness and the strength in your core. If lifting the legs feels a little too much, you can just slide one out, slide the other heel out, slide the heel back in. If you start to feel that you lose your engagement of your core, stop, inhale, and on that exhale, retighten and re-engage to feel a nice strong core as we march. These muscles of the front have to support our back muscles. So a lot of times our back muscles and our back are doing a lot, and these muscles up front aren't being turned on and aren't being used. So as we turn those on, you'll be supported through your back, through your spine. If you'd like to add a little bit more of a challenge, you can kick that leg out at the end and then bring it in and set it down. So march up, kick out, and then set it down. Keeping that core nice and tight, the pelvic floor lifted through the whole movement. Stopping to inhale and re-engage when you need. Finish that, we can shake out our legs, shake things out a little bit. We're going to move into our strengthening portion. So normally we have been starting with sun salutations, but today I want to move it a little bit to working on strengthening that will help you get on and off the floor. I'm not going to ask you to get on the floor at all. But my guinea pig was on the floor. I made her get on the floor earlier. So
I did get up without help. Yes.
So we're going to go through some things using the chair that will help to build up the strength that if you ever find yourself on the floor, it'll help to get you up. So on our way up to standing, we're going to stop halfway and do our chair pose. We're going to put our feet planted underneath us. I'm going to demonstrate for you. We'll get about halfway and we're going to hold right there. Take a few breaths, I'll talk you through it, and then we'll go the rest of the way up. So if you plant your feet, scooch to the edge of that chair. You're going to kind of put the hands out in front of you, lean forward, and then hold. We'll bring those hands to our chest. If you prefer, you can just stay seated, and you can meet us at the top. Chest will come up, tuck that rear underneath, bending those knees. Big inhale, big exhale, and on the next inhale, coming up to stand. Very good. So we're going to set ourselves up sideways. If you just want to turn your chair, maybe if everyone turns the back of your chair to that wall, then we'll all kind of be going in the same direction. Enough room. And then when you're ready, we're going to plant our hands and we're going to step our feet back into a downward dog. So your feet will be just back behind your hips, and then using your hands on the chair, pressing back to feel those hips rise up and back. Your head will go in between your arms, and you'll feel a little bit of a stretch through the back of your legs, maybe through the arms, the back. Keep a big bend in the knee if that helps. Your feet will be about the distance of the chair legs. And then if you want to pedal through your feet, so we're going to go up on one toe, lifting that heel, and then switching to the other. One heel, then the other heel. And then push back into downward dog one more time. Bringing your chest down towards the floor as you push back into your hips. These look good. Now we're going to rock forward onto our hands into a plank position. So you're pushing your body up towards the hands. The weight is on your hands. Now adjust your feet. If you want this to be a little less through your hands, your feet will come closer to the chair. If you have a little bit more strength through your arms, you can step the feet back a little further. Holding that for a couple of breaths. Bringing yourself out anytime you need to. And then we'll walk our feet to the chair. A little stretch through here. And step back into that downward dog when you're ready. So our feet will be back. The feet are just back behind where your hips line up, and then push into the chair to push back. I'm going to add on to this, but we're going to use this over the next several weeks. So if you're not quite getting it today, that's fine. We're going to keep working with this. The option here to lift your right leg up, and then we're going to place that up under, next to the chair. So between your hands up close to the chair, and your back left leg will be back. You want those toes right in the middle of the legs of the chair. And then we're going to use our back leg just to bend down into a little lunge, using that chair as much as you need. Now, if you imagine you're on your way up from the floor, this may be a spot that you would stop in along the way. We're kind of in this lunge position, using the chair and a little bend to that back leg. We're going to switch to yours. Beautiful. Thank you. You're welcome. You guys are looking good here, but the front right leg between the chair and the back toes. Or back foot down. Yeah. Just bend as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe you're just staying in that position. Or bend a little bit into that back. It's a lunge. You're doing perfect. Or you can step that foot back into downward dog, however you'd like to get there. Take a little break there. And we're going to do the other side. So from your downward dog, if you want to meet there, or maybe you just need to take a few breaths seated in the chair, that's fine if you need that break. If you're with me, we'll bring that left leg up. That is an option to bring it up before you step it between the hands, and then scooch that back leg back just a little. And then we'll bring that right leg, will now be the bending leg towards the floor. Yeah? If that feels a little uncomfortable, your feet may be too close, so you can try scooting that back leg back just a little and really push down on the chair to give you enough support. Good. They always laugh at me. All right, and then we're going to step those feet back. One more downward dog. Shake those legs out. And then we'll step the feet forward. Inhale to rise up. Very good. All right. Now we'll turn our chairs back around and we'll stand behind them. All right. So we're going to go into our balance section. So we're going to start in mountain pose. So right behind your chair, bringing your feet close together. They don't have to touch. Feeling your feet nice and strong, planted into the ground. And then feeling that core engagement that we were working on, seated. And then pulling the shoulder blades down and back. And maybe your palms will face up towards me. Or maybe you keep one hand or both hands on the chair for a little extra balance.
gazing out forward in front of you. And now you can hold this position if this feels like enough of a balance challenge. Otherwise, we're going to go into heel raises. So we're going to slowly lift up the heels and then slowly try to bring them back down. Hands can come to the chair for support, or they can stay out at the sides. Just taking your time, going through this. And today maybe just checking to see how this feels, how easy, how hard this is. And maybe this is a good spot to stay right there. If you feel like you're ready for a challenge, we'll just lift one leg. We'll just try for you on one side. Maybe the hands will come to the chair. And maybe it's just a check and an assessment of how this feels on one side. And then maybe we check the other side. And over the next 5 weeks, we'll see if this feels any different as we continue to work our balance, build our strength. All right. We're going to bring it back to both legs. We're going to go up on both toes. And then again, hold on to the chair, or the hands can kind of come out in front. And then we're going to do a little squat down as far as you want that squat to be, or as little or as non-existent as you want it to be. And then we're going to come up from our squat up into our heel raises.
Can we go down on our heels?
Yep, down to your heels, and then down to a squat. And then complete the squat, and then up to the heel raises. And my spiel, I'll give it again for the new ones. So the only way to improve your balance is to challenge it. So if this is feeling pretty easy, you can bring your feet together. You want to feel little wiggles, some wobbles. That means you're really improving your balance. If it's feeling pretty easy, you're getting a good strength workout, but you're not necessarily improving the balance, those neuroreceptors in your muscles that respond to these sudden changes. And find whatever level feels right for you today. Maybe you want to just stick with some heel raises. And you can also play with where your feet are, whether you want them closer, further. One foot in front of the other. You can try for heel raises. These are all things we'll work on over the next few weeks. So maybe just kind of getting an idea of how this all feels, where the challenge is for you. And we'll switch to the other side if you're trying the one foot in front of the other. All right, we'll shake that out. All right, let's do, Maxine's not here, but for her, we're gonna do a tree pose on each side. So we'll stand on our right leg, and we're gonna find tree pose. So we want this standing leg to be nice and strong. We don't wanna sink into that hip, keep up out of that hip, and then we're gonna take our left leg, yep. And we're gonna put it, either kickstand the toes on the ground, my son. And the heel will come to your calf. Hands can stay on the chair. That feels pretty good. You can try bringing that foot up a little bit more towards the calf. And if we're feeling good there, we can add in different hand positions. Maybe they come in front of the chest. Maybe they stay right on the chair, holding on for dear life. We can grow them up if you're there, if you're feeling ready for that. Just pick and choose what works for you. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's just whatever your body is feeling. If that feels, you can keep that toe kickstand right there. And if that feels like enough of a balance challenge, stay right there for today. I think everybody probably started there who was from the beginning. I think we all started with our foot kickstand and worked our way up. So, all right, we'll shake that one right out. And we'll move to the other side. So now your left leg will plant, lift up out of that hip. And we'll start just the kickstand. The toes stay right on the ground and your heel will just kind of lean up against that leg. Hands can stay on the chair. If you want the added challenge, you'll move that leg up. And you can kind of see, maybe the hands stay, but the foot comes up, and that gives you a challenge. Maybe the foot stays down, but the hands can come off, and that gives you more of a challenge. I would find the spot that's kind of the sweet spot of it's a challenge, and you're challenging your balance, but you still feel safe and comfortable. So wherever you are, wherever that is for you today, you can give that a try. And we do a lot of focusing on one leg balance to improve our balance, because when we walk, we're on one foot with every step. So if you imagine maybe a dog runs under your foot and now you suddenly have to maintain your balance on this leg, the better and the stronger that is, the less chance you'll have of falls, the better balance you'll have. So if you're still there, well, you can shake that out. And we'll come back to the chair. We'll finish up with our stretching. Give me a drink or anything along the way. You made it through the hard part. So the last little bit we'll do stretching. We want to kind of take advantage of our body getting all warmed up. And we want to go through some stretches to lengthen our muscles, stretch things out. So we'll start kind of like how we were going last time, so we're going to stick with that. Our right leg will go out in front. Kind of scooch to the edge of the chair if you'd like. We're going to plant our right heel down as the toes point up towards the ceiling. And then you can just slowly lean forward until you feel a nice stretch in the back of your thigh. Maybe you want to reach the hands down towards the toes, if that gives you a better stretch. Or maybe you just lean the chest down. If you have any history of back pain or sciatic, I would not reach my hands way down. Just fold, trying to keep your back a little bit more straight as you fold more at the hip instead of rounding the back to reach down. And then we'll settle into that stretch. Connect back into the breath. Find something that feels tolerable for 5 to 10 breaths. Feel the pull, but allow it to be comfortable, right on the verge of maybe uncomfortable. And we'll hold a little longer through these stretches, using that time under tension to lengthen these muscles. You can stay with that stretch, or we can open that leg up more to a straddle stretch. It's kind of diagonal out from the chair, and then you can find the stretch there. Option to kind of turn your body so your chest is facing your toes, and then bend or more of a side body if you'd like to just reach that right arm down the right leg. And feel free to play around, see what works best for you, which one you want to stick with. Try it all out and then settle into the one that feels the best. Bring that leg in. We're going to scooch over to the right side of the chair for a quad stretch. So we're sticking right on this right leg. We're going to bring that leg back behind. You can stay up on the tops of your up onto your toes, or kind of curl those toes over and go more on the tops of your toes. Feeling this stretch in the front of your thigh. If you're not feeling it quite yet, you can lean back a little bit for a little deeper stretch. If your knees or your feet aren't really going to allow for that stretch, it's just not comfortable in your body, you can do the same thing standing behind the chair. You can find the same stretch in this position. Nice deep stretch through the hip flexor. Slowly unfold that leg. And bring that leg up. And just take some circles, maybe holding under your thigh, maybe holding around the knee. Whoever feels good. And continue with the circles, or maybe bringing that leg in towards your armpit. Kind of holding and giving a nice pull in, kind of a diagonal pull. Play around with where that feels best. And then we'll bring that leg over the left leg, scooting back into the center of the chair so we don't fall off. So we'll cross that leg over to a figure four. If that's too much, you can hold on to your ankle and you can extend that bottom leg and allow the hand to kind of help hold as that knee falls open. So it's a little bit more of a reclined, less pressure through the knee, a little more work through the arm, but otherwise that the bottom leg can stay up and you can fold over, feeling a big stretch through the glutes around your piriformis. So you might be feeling some hip tightness, as well as just this muscle is notoriously very tight, your piriformis. So if this isn't a stretch you do often, it might feel quite tight. But with time, it will come. One more big inhale, and on your exhale, just see if you can fold a little bit more, get a little deeper stretch into that glute. And then we'll we'll unfold, maybe slowly kind of rocking that leg out as we come out. Maybe a few ankle circles before you let that leg down. And we're gonna move over to the left leg this time. Put our left heel down as we point the toes up, going through that same kind of series on this side now. Finding our hamstring stretch. So folding over or reaching down for the toes, feeling that behind the thigh. Once you kind of find the spot that you can hold, allow yourself to sink into it. Try to release the tension through that leg to feel the stretch. Keep it right there, or we'll have the option to bring that heel out to the side, more of a diagonal, a straddle stretch, and then finding a nice position that feels comfortable here. Still working on the back of the thigh, but maybe now feeling a little bit more on the inner thigh. And we'll bring that leg in, scooting over to that left side a bit, and we'll bring that leg back behind into our quad stretch. Option to take this standing if this side's not feeling it. Up on your toes, or allow the toes to kind of flatten out and go on the tops of your toes. Feeling from that hip anywhere in front of that quad, maybe even down to the knee a little bit. And then holding, sinking in. Use the chair if you need a little something to hold on to. And unfold that leg, bringing that out, grabbing maybe behind the thigh, under the knee, taking some circles, whatever size circles feels right for your leg. And maybe you stay with the circles, or maybe you'd like to bring that in for a little bit of a hold here to stretch out, opposite direction. Maybe thinking just some rocks or jiggles or circles up higher. And maybe some circles on this side. And then we'll cross that leg over, finding our piriformis stretch on this side, scooching to the middle so we don't fall off the side. And then we'll fold forward. Again, the option to keep that bottom leg straight. Just hold on to the ankle if you need, if it's a little too much to the leg going all the way up. And then one more inhale, and on the exhale, just see if you can get a little deeper. Lengthen that stretch. Relax that leg a little bit more to feel more stretch. And then we'll go ahead and bring that leg out. Shaking that out on the way down. We'll come to the edge of our chair, taking a nice wide stance with our legs, opening up through our inner thighs, feeling a nice hip opening stretch. Using the hands just to press back a little bit on both knees. And then we'll move our hands back behind us, keeping that nice stretch through the legs, interlacing our fingers, palms together as we push the fingers down, opening up that chest, maybe gazing up towards the ceiling. Feel a little opening through the hips and the chest at the same time. Finding that breath. You can release those hands. We'll bring them out in front. Interlace, push the palms towards me. Round through your back, allow your chin to tuck. And press through, feeling a big stretch through the shoulder blades, through your upper back. And then we'll allow those hands to reach down towards the ground for one final forward fold. Maybe the hands are reaching easier to the ground now. If not, just bring those your elbows up to your knees and allow your head to hang heavy from here. Wherever you're at is just right. We'll inhale and we'll roll up. If you have any other final motions or movements you need, if you'd like to put your sweater on or socks on, we're going to come into our last few minutes of meditation. So I'll give you a moment just to kind of feel a nice comfortable spot. Anything you need that will help you come into your final moments of relaxation. For many people, these final minutes are the hardest part of the whole class. Kind of sitting in silence, sitting in the stillness and connecting into your breath and trying to observe the thoughts, kind of turn off some of the noise and the connecting to those thoughts and writing stories. As these thoughts come in, we connect to them, we travel along the storyline we've always kind of gone with these thoughts. So the idea of meditation is to allow yourself to observe the thought, to see it, but don't connect to it. Allow it back out. You don't have to be the thought. The thoughts are not truth. They're not fact. Allow them in and allow them back out. So we'll take a few minutes here, allowing your feet to plant on the ground. Your hands can rest on your lap, palms up, palms down, whichever way feels better. Allow your eyes to shut. Take a few minutes just to find that breath. Maybe working to slow that breath down. After the movement, the exercising, the positions. As you feel that breath slowing down, allow yourself to come to stillness. Maybe picturing just a blank canvas, keeping that blank space
those thoughts come in, the to-do list comes in, you can picture them turning into a butterfly right in front of that canvas you have, and watching that fly away. If it's a thought that you don't need and it doesn't serve you and it doesn't help you, put that right into a bubble, float it away, and then pop it. Start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, coming back into the space. Slowly bringing yourself out of that meditation and back to the room. Maybe allow the hands down at the sides. And together we'll take one last inhale, reaching our hands up overhead, palms come together, and we'll bring our hands in front of our chest. If you'd like to bow your head and take one last moment to appreciate our bodies, know that you are in the right place, doing the right amount at the right time. You're doing lovely. And I thank you for coming.